Hello students, in this video we will cover the chapter 3 from the book Object-Oriented Programming with C++ by E. Balagurusamy. And in chapter 3 we have token, expression, expressions and control structures. So what is token? Token is the smallest individual units of a program. So if we have a program, suppose this is a program where we have integer a, b and c. As I told, everything in terms of example is better to understand. So if we have a 5, b equal to 10 and c is equal to a plus b, so in this case we have a keyword int, we have a variable a, b, c, and we have this 5 which is a constant value. So in this case this is the keyword which is a part of a program or individual unit. Another unit is this a, b and c. So these are called the names. A, b, c are called identifiers, means the variable names. So in this way, the things which are user defined, the names which are user defined, we call them identifiers. Here the name of an array, array name and function name, they are also in this category called identifier. So hope you understood this identifier. Now this is the keyword. So in C++ we have many keywords like in, float, character and char card, and we have other if, else, for. These all individual words called keywords. Keywords, the meaning of a keyword is the words which are already there in the compiler's mind. Compiler's mind means compiler's library. The definition of those words are there, means when you write int in your program, that int means you are going to create variables of type integer. So in this case this int, the meaning of this int is there in the compiler's mind. So we call those words reserved words or keywords. And identifier you understood. And now constants. So in this program you can see constant, the values which never changes, means the constant values 5, 10, 10.5, like this. Or suppose we have a string s and we are writing like this. So here this string is a constant. So here these are the different things which are actually comes under the concept of token, what we call token. Here another thing is under token we have operators. So operators are here in our program. We have this example also here. So when we have written c is equal to a plus b, so here a, these are the operands, and we have operators plus and this equal to, this is assignment operator, and this is addition operator. Here these are also called tokens, means they are also helping the program to be developed. So every individual, say suppose this is the main, the name is it's a identifier. Here the brackets closing and opening, they're also part of the program. So every individual unit which can be which has its own individual meaning, we call token. We call tokens. So hope you will understand this thing when you go through the book, and you will get the concepts from the book. So let us start. Let us go forward. Identifier concepts, constants in the book. So you will find very nicely they represented. It is there in the book. So whatever we discussed right now, they are, categorically they placed everything in the book. So they are talking about the built-in, the basic data types in C++. In C++ data types we have user-defined data types, built-in data types, and derived data types. In user-defined data types we have structure, union, class, enumeration, and in built-in data types we know integer, the integral types, integer, character, and floating type, float and double. And we have another data type called void, and in derived data type we have array, function, pointer, and reference. So these are the uh, different data types which are available in C++. Based on the requirement we can use. And we have user defined data type. So in as user defined data type we have a structure and class. So the class, which we will discuss later, structure and class. Structures, we have had structure in C. So structure is actually the previous version of class. Advanced version of structure is called class. So these are similar thing, and we will be using class to discuss our object oriented programming. So let us go forward. Derived data types, arrays, functions. So what is array? Array is a collection of similar data types. So why I'm not discussing in details, because in C it is already discussed, and I have videos where I have discussed about this array, data type, then different types of data types, and pointer. Everything is discussed in C. So in C++ I said to develop any program we always need a variable of any type, means data type of any type. So we need constants and their types, and we need operators. We need operators. We need operand. Operands means these variables and constant, they form operands. Example, a equal to b plus c. Here a is plus and equal to our operators, and b and c are operands, and a is an operand. So these are the things, and we need in a program what we need. The other things what we need to develop the logic, we need if else switch to just develop the conditional situation. And we need loop. So for, while, do while, different loops. So these are discussed in C, so that's why I'm not going into details. So this chapter is actually talking about this thing. And let us come to another thing, which is the part of this chapter, which is expressions. So expressions is nothing but a combination of operands and operators. Very easily you can understand. So operands means a, b, c, the variables which are having some values. Constant 2, 5, 2.5, these are the values, any sort of values. And operators, plus, minus, multiplication, division, and many other operators which are available in C and C++. So you can use those things and you can form an expression which actually is a mathematical expression which is required to just to solve some problem. Suppose you want to add two numbers, so a plus b, so here plus operator is used, and two variables are being added together, and the value will be kept in c with this with the help of this operator, the assignment operator. So the here this is called expression. This is called expression, where we have a combination of operands and operators together. You can have a complex expressions like that: a equal to b plus c, b into c whole divided by d whole into, suppose, 2.5 whole divided by 10, like that. Anything you can write as expression, the based on your requirement, which is actually uh, to solve any problem. You need to write your own expression, solve the problem. So here this is called expression. Here operators and operands, so based on the operators, the types of the operators, we classify the expressions in different form. Here based on the types of the operators. Let us discuss the user defined data types, structures and classes. So structure, which is actually there in C as well as in C++, because in whatever they are in C are useful in C++ also, are applicable in C++ also. And the new thing is called class. We already discussed what is class, and we have written a program to create a class and object. So will be discussed in a very elaborate manner, and we'll write many programs on classes and objects. So the second thing is called the enumerated data types. So this enumerated data types, which is a user defined data type, which give you freedom to associate names to numbers. So suppose we have and the keyword enum. So with this keyword you actually create the data type. So suppose you want to create a data type called color, and you are giving red, green, suppose 2. So here actually this color data type is having two values, red and green, and red is by default it is 0, and by default it is 1. And if you want to override those values while declaring, you can also do that, but by default it starts with 0, and the second one is 1. If you want to name other things, like want to input other colors name, here you can put, and automatically 3 4 5 it will be there. So when now you can create variable color. So color is a data type, so you can create variable, suppose background color background color. So this is the variable name, so you can assign red. So here this red is actually 0 integer value by default. So we actually to just create a very like to write a program with better understanding. So we actually give this sort of like user friendly name. So but in the background it is having a value 0 integer value. So suppose you want to four color is a variable which you have created from uh, sorry you have created from the color type. So you can assign this with green. So this way you can create a type, and you can create variable of that, and you can assign the values you have mentioned in terms of words or names, and that names actually associated with integer value 0 1 2 3, like that. So you can create other names also, other type with this enum keyword. So enum keyword you can write, suppose you have created like this enum day is a type. So here you have Monday, Tuesday, like that. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. And you can override that with like this Monday is equal to 1, like that. So here by default it starts from 0, what I already mentioned. So when you create a day variable, so day, suppose your joining your suppose your birthday, suppose birthday variable, so you write Monday. So by default it is actually holding 0. So this is the another example of creating an enum database, which is actually making the programmer, giving a programmer a very clear understanding and clear representation, so that it is easier to write program with these names. So let us go forward. The book, and we have derived data type arrays, which are already discussed in C also, so I'm not going to discuss this thing here. Array functions is a derived data type, so I'm not going to discuss functions. Pointer, because these are discussed in that C programming classes, which I already recorded. So like so this way we are going forward. Here another concept is called type compatibility. So in C, C++ very strict with regard to type compatibility as compared to C. For instance, C++ defines integer, long integer as 3 different data types. So this is a different types in a single type integer, and based on the requirement we use whether we will use integer or short integer or long integer, because they have their own range. Likewise, in case of character, unsigned character and signed character. So declaration of variables. So we know how to declare variable. Integer a is a kind of declaration of variable and definition of variable, and assigning any value, the first value, or we can say it's the initialization of the variable. Then you can use this variable further in your program. This is called declaration of variable. So it is there in the book, that's why I'm just going through the book. So we will discuss many things in object-oriented concepts, but as I'm taking the reference of this book, so I'm trying to cover some of the topics which are there, and sequentially I'm just going forward. So this is chapter 3. I've covered chapter 2, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Now it is chapter 3. So this way you go through the book and you will find everything is easy and everything is mentioned. And operators in C++, operators we have. So in C++ has a rich set of operators. All C++ operators are valid in all C operators are valid in C++. So we already discussed the operators which are there in C. You go through the C classes which I have recorded. And in addition, C++ includes some of the new operators. We have already seen such operators, namely insertion operator. Yes, this one. This is called insertion operator. This is called extraction operator. With cout we use this, and with cin we use this. Here other operators like scope resolution operators, you will find it very soon in our program. We'll use this scope resolution operators. Then pointer to members operator, pointers to member operators, then pointer to member declarator. This is declarator, and pointer to member operator is this thing. and pointer to member operators dot asterisk. So when we will use these operators we will understand. Then delete operator, new operator, delete operator and new operator. These are dynamic memory location operators. When we create uh, new when we allocate memory space, then handle new line, it's an operator like backslash n. It works like this, like this. So with cout you can use this handle to just break the output line. Then set w. So like this, different new operators are there in C++. So they discussed scope resolution operator here. So when we will use these operators in our program, we'll definitely understand better. So by this time you go through the book, and you will find everything is mentioned. Our main motive is to understand the object-oriented concept of C++, and with C++ we will write many programs. So up to this we will go to the next chapter, and eventually we will go to the object-oriented programming concepts. There are many things to discuss: inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, message passing, then virtual function, operator overloading, function overloading. So there are many things: constructor, destructor, and we have exception handling, we have a template. So there are many things to cover in in object-oriented programming concepts. So as a part of the book, as a part of the C++ content, so I'm just covering all those things.